Hello everyone, and welcome to the International Long Drive Challenge from Cinnamon Hill Golf Course in beautiful Montego Bay, Jamaica. Today's action puts Canada Team Number 3 against Canada Team Number 2. And with your hosts, here's Ron Yantho and Rick Benoit. Hello everyone, and welcome to the International Long Drive Challenge, coming to you from Cinnamon Hill Golf Course in beautiful Montego Bay, Jamaica. I'm Ron Yantho, joined by my co-host, Rick Benoit. Rick, we're starting off with Team Canada 3 taking on Team Canada 2. Should be some exciting action this afternoon.
Well, an exciting matchup between these two Canadian teams. You know, we've got some real characters on Team Canada. You've got Mike the Salty Dog Hurl. You've got Chris the Boogeyman Mason, all coming at you in this event here. But again, you know, the real story here, 13-year-old Allison Stark, 13 years old, representing Canada at an international event here in Montego Bay, Jamaica. Got to be exciting for her, and what an exciting event for Team Canada as a whole.
Looks like we're all set and ready to go, so let's get things underway. Okay, let's take a look at the rules and regulations. Each hitter has 3 minutes to hit 6 balls. Now, there'll be 2 hitters in a tee box, a total of 6 minutes maximum. Balls must come to its final resting point inside the grid. Measurements are taken from the furthest point of the ball. Grid is 420 yards long by 45 yards wide. Each hitter will hit the provided, marked, and approved Pinnacle Gold golf ball. Clubs must not exceed 50 inches in length and will be measured in the upright position. Okay, the grids are clear, the players are ready, and we started it all off with Mike Hurl and Chris Mason. And Rick, what can we expect with these players?
Well, you're going to have an exciting matchup between these two Canadian teams. A lot of these Canadians have hit against each other in the past, and now they're going to be hitting with each other and against each other. So what an exciting matchup between these two teams. And the first two to hit the tee box, Mike Hurl and Chris Mason, both long-time long drivers and experienced athletes. Let's see what they can do here today.
Mike Hurl stepping up right now. This will be Mike's first drive. Mike for Canada Team Number 3. Mike's first drive coming up.
Mike getting set in the tee box. He's trying to relax out there. Mike's also known amongst the long drivers as the Salty Dog. So let's see what the Salty Dog can do here. Big cut at the ball there, and you can see he looked out to the right side there, but looks like the hitters may have the sun in their face going into this last round, Ron. I think that might be affecting them as well a little bit there. Off to the left, out of bounds on his first drive for Mike Hurl.
And Mike is back with his second hit. First one out of bounds. This one hoping to keep it in the grid and keep it long.
Looking off to the right side again. He's looking down the grid. Let's see where this ball ends up. Down the grid it goes, into the air. Let's see where it ends up. Comes back in just along the left line at 326 yards.
326 yards for Mike Hurl. Chris Mason is up right now with his third drive, first and second going out of bounds. Chris is trying to beat Mike Hurl's 326 yards.
Big cut there by Chris Mason. You know, unorthodox swing on Chris Mason, also known as the Boogeyman amongst the athletes here in Jamaica. Let's see what he can do. Out of bounds on his third drive. Not having a good set there, Ron.
Mike Hurl back. He is with his fifth drive here, his fourth going out of bounds as well.
Another big cut from Mikey. Good shoulder turn there as he swings through the ball, but you can see that sun's beating down on the hitters from out in distance into the grid. Down the right side it goes. Big hop and out of bounds at 340 yards.
Mike Hurl, he is back with his sixth and final, the last one going out of bounds, hoping to beat his 326 yards.
He's already got a score posted here. Let's see what he can do. Big cut, looking down the grid at it. Tough to see with that sun in his eyes, but you see the big hop there on that ball, and he gets a little bit of roll. Rolling out past 330 yards, finishing up at 331 yards for Mike Hurl.
Chris Mason, he's stepping up right now with his fourth hit.
Big cut from the Boogeyman there, and he's looking at this one as it flies through the sky down towards the end of that grid. Let's see where this ball ends up. Oh, a big hop down the right side. Good roll, and as it rolls out just shy of that 380-yard marker, coming in at 379 yards.
And Chris steps back for his fifth drive here. Fifth drive for Chris after logging on to a 379-yard drive.
He's going to let it all hang out here. He knows he's got Mikey beat. And you saw him slip out of the tee box there, swinging out of his shoes, trying to beat that 379. Let's see if he can do it. It comes up short at the 372-yard marker.
And Chris does it again on his sixth and final.
And this drive is shorter than 379, coming in on the grid at 345 yards. So Chris Mason's best at 379 is good enough to beat Mike Hurl in this set. Here we are with Chris Mason's instant replay, and you can see all the way back. Great shoulder turn. That club comes all the way around, and he brings his shoulders back. What a great swing. Great job by Chris Mason.
Moving along, we've got a couple of other great guys coming up here. Todd Harold and Bill Stark. It's round 2 of Canada Team 3 taking on Canada Team 2. Todd and Bill.
What a great matchup between these two. You know, Bill Stark and Todd Harold, both experienced long drivers, no strangers to the tee here. We should see some great hits from these two athletes, and you know what? They've been in the tee box before, hitting against each other, and you'll see some great camaraderie between these two hitters.
Bill doing a little talking, a little laughing, and Todd stepping up right now with his first drive.
And you can see both Ryan Hawkins in the background there collecting scores with the loudmouth pants that are matching Todd Harold's from Team Canada. Got the Team Canada loudmouth pants. Let's see if they give him an edge over Bill Stark here. You see, he wasn't too happy with that swing. He checked his backswing a little short there and pulled it across his body. As a result, he's OB down that left-hand side.
And he's back with his third right now. The first and second, both OBs, trying to keep this one in.
And he's looking at that one as it goes down the grid. Goes down the grid, and again, he's pulled another one outside the grid on the left-hand side. OB for his third drive.
Bill Stark in with his second drive. First one going out of bounds.
And the ball's up in the air. You can see Bill had a little bit of a laugh there before he swings. Bill likes to relax before he gets into the tee box there. And another ball down the grid it goes, down the right side. Past the 350 marker, just shy of 360, and comes in at 358 yards for Bill Stark. Great way to start things off in his first three, Ron.
Certainly is. And Bill's back trying to beat that 358 on ball number 3.
And you can see there he tried to swing right out of his shoes on that one. And ball's up in the air. Big hop at 320 there. Slowed the ball up and into that tall grass, and it's going to come up shorter. 329 yards for Bill Stark's third drive.
His fourth drive, Todd Harold trying to beat Bill Stark's 358.
Down the grid it goes, and he saw it kick back in off that line. Still inbounds at 325 yards for drive number 4. Todd knows he's got his work cut out for him to catch up to Bill Stark's 358 yards.
And this is his last chance. Ball number 6 going as ball number 5 was out of bounds.
And again, Todd Harold pulls number 6 out of bounds down that left-hand side. It's important to note, Ron, that Todd is wearing a knee brace. He's got an injury, and he's sporting an injury in this competition, so that might have hurt him a little bit.
Bill Stark with his fifth drive as his fourth was out of bounds.
Coming at you with the next drive, it's up in the air, down the right side, and it looks like it's OB down the right side, about 340 yards for Bill on that drive.
And Bill's sixth drive right now, trying to beat his 358 yards.
Great swing by Billy there. You know, he's trying to catch everything he can behind that ball. Can't really see it because the sun is in his eyes, but it's up and down on the left side of the grid and out of bounds. Best drive for Bill Stark in that set to beat Todd Harold at 358 yards. And here we go with the instant replay of that 358 from Bill Stark. Good shoulder turn. He comes all the way around and finishes at the top of his swing. Great job for Bill Stark.
After round 2, it's Team Canada number 2 leading Team Canada number 3. Slight edge there by 81 yards. More to come from Montego Bay, Cinnamon Hill Golf Course. It's the International Long Drive Challenge. Stay with us.
This portion of the program brought to you by Lanky Rat Creations, original inspired art.
Welcome back to beautiful Montego Bay Cinnamon Hill Golf Course. It's the International Long Drive Challenge. It's Canada team number 3 up against Canada team number 2. Now this time around, Rick, it's Jason Davies and Rick Benoit.
And you know, again, two great competitors here, but Jason Davies is the story. Brand new to the sport this year in 2011, and what a showing at the Canadian Nationals. He really put on a show and won the event. He's the Canadian National Champion for 2011, so this is going to be a tough competition for me, Ron.
And Jason Davies getting some encouragement out there from some teammates. Jason Davies, he'll be up first. Jason Davies on the Canada team number 3.
Just waiting to clear the grid here and getting the green light from our grid workers. The hitters can swing away. And you can see Jason Davies in the tee box there just getting loose, getting ready to hit his first ball.
And away he goes. Jason Davies for Canada team number 3. And there he goes.
Big cut there for Jason. He's got a great swing, good stable base in his legs, and he stays planted all the way through his swing. And that ball's down the right side of the grid, past the 380, past the 390, and finishes up at 391 yards for the opening ball for Jason Davies. That's the way to start things out.
Certainly is. Right way to go. And Jason is back with his second hit.
And again, you know, he's so consistent with his swing. He's right through the ball, and he keeps his feet planted, and his hips are shifted and pointed towards the target. This ball's right down the middle of the grid again. Here we go with another great drive from Jason Davies, past the 380 mark, and finishes up at 387 yards. What a start from Jason Davies. I know I've got my work cut out for me here, Ron.
Certainly do. Your first drive right now, you got to beat that 391 yards. Rick Benoit with his first drive.
And you can see right through the ball I go, and I'm looking down the grid, but I don't know if it's enough to beat that 391. Down that left side it goes, rolls back in towards the center of the grid, and just comes short of the 380 mark and finishes at 378 yards. Not a bad start, but still not enough to beat 391 yards.
So maybe we can do it this time around on your second drive here, Rick. Rick Benoit with his second drive.
And again, you know, I've got one in the grid, so I'm trying to get all I can behind that ball at this point in time. And I pushed that one out to the right. Hands weren't quick enough coming through the golf ball, and as a result, I pushed it out of bounds on that right-hand side.
And Jason Davies steps up right now. Jason's fourth drive was out of bounds.
And again, another ball down the grid it goes. It's up in the air. Let's see where this one ends up. This one's a strong drive, good bounce and a good roll, past the 380, past the 390, and ends up at 400 yards for drive number 5 for Jason Davies. What a drive, and what a set for Jason Davies here in the International Long Drive Challenge.
And Jason steps up for his sixth drive. He is actually going to try to beat that 400 yards right now.
And you can see he really tried to give it his all. Nothing in the bag there, nothing left at all, and it goes out towards the grid. Let's see if it stays in. In the air, it's going out towards the left side of the grid here and goes out of bounds left at about 380 yards. But the big ball, 400 yards for Jason Davies.
Rick Benoit up right now with his fifth hit, his fourth going out of bounds, and Rick's got to do better than 400 yards posted by Jason Davies.
And you know, at this point in time, I got a 378 posted for my team, but I know I've got 4 bills to beat, and I got to beat that 400-yard drive, so I'm giving it all I got here. Ball's up in the air and traveling down the left side, and it goes out of bounds on drive number 5. And that's typically what happens, Ron, when you try and overswing things. Your hands get a little bit quick on you, and you pull the ball out to the left-hand side.
And Rick's final drive right now, final drive to beat that 400 yards.
Good backswing, but again, you can see my back leg shifted up on me, and I'm pulling that ball again out to the left-hand side as it goes through the air, and it's going to be out of bounds down the right-hand side of the grid. And my personal best was 378 in that set, but not enough to beat Jason Davies at 400 yards. And here's the replay with Jason Davies and his 400 yards. You can see a good shoulder turn. He gets that shoulder tucked right underneath his chin and falls all the way through the ball.
And after round 3, it's Team Canada number 2 having a slight edge over Team Canada number 3 by 59 yards. More to come from Montego Bay Cinnamon Hill Golf Course. It's the International Long Drive Challenge. Stay with us.
This portion of the program brought to you by Starks Golf Course. Great family golfing.
And welcome back to Cinnamon Hill Golf Course in Montego Bay, Jamaica. It's the International Long Drive Challenge. Team Canada number 3 up against Team Canada number 2. Bram Churchill up right now. Now, Rick, there's only one guy up on the tee blocks right now. Can you explain that?
Well, in the international competition and team events, unfortunately, Bram's on both teams here. And, you know, when you have one hitter that's on both teams, the international rules state that he will hit one set of 6 balls and his score will count for both teams. And that's the fairest process that we can make for both teams here.
Now, Bram stepping up for his first drive here. Doing a little, Bram always likes to concentrate big time before he hits.
Yeah, he's got a lot of concentration going on, a lot of visualization of what he's doing, and you can see that unorthodox stance of his where he pulls the club right across his body and down towards the grid. And here's a ball heading towards the grid. Let's see where it ends up. Past the 320, past the 320 marker, and just checks up short at 322 yards. Not a personal best for Bram by any means, but let's see if he can better it here.
On his second drive.
And again, you can see Bram staring it down, and usually when Bram's staring it down, that means it's landing somewhere in the grid, and it does again. Down the left side, just inside the line at 329 yards.
Bram doing his sixth drive right now after posting a 321 on his third, a 308 on his fourth, and out of bounds on his fifth.
And he's hoping for his personal best here on his 6th ball, and the ball comes down around the 315 mark and rolls out to 326 yards for Bram Churchill on his 6th ball. But his personal best, 329, Ron.
Way to go, Bram.
And the instant replay of Bram Churchill's swing here, you can see his unorthodox stance weighing out to the right, but it comes right across his body, right down the middle of the grid.
From Johnny Cash's house at Cinnamon Hill Golf Course to the waterfalls at Ocho Rios, Jamaica, once you go, you know. And after round 4, Team Canada number 2 leads Team Canada number 3 by 59 yards. Stay with us. The ladies are up next during the International Long Drive Challenge from Montego Bay, Jamaica.
This portion of the program brought to you by Joe Sutherland Rentals for all your television production needs.
Welcome back to Cinnamon Hill Golf Course in Montego Bay, Jamaica. We're at the International Long Drive Challenge. It's Team Canada number 3 taking on Team Canada number 2. The ladies are in right now. It's Allison Stark and Debbie Peaver, the final round.
And you know, going into this final round of the ladies now, Debbie Peaver, a longtime long driver and no stranger to the tee box, up against Allison Stark, 13 years old in her first international long drive competition, and she has showed very well here in Jamaica, and let's see if she can keep that trend going.
Allison stepping up right now for her first drive this afternoon.
And she gets that first drive off, and you can see it going down the right side of the grid. Rolling it goes. Let's see where it ends up. And she goes past the 200-yard marker, past the 220, and finishes at 221 yards for her first drive. Good way to start it off for Allison here.
Allison's second drive.
Another good swing from Allison there. She falls all the way through the ball. You can see in her face she's not quite happy with that, not as happy as the first one. And she's going to be OB on her second drive there. You can see her dad in the background, her coach and mentor trying to help her along here with their drives and talking to her, trying to encourage her. That's a great thing to see, a father and daughter relationship in this international competition. That's what this is all about, Ron.
So true, so true. And Allison's third drive was out of bounds, and Debbie Peaver right now with her first drive.
And Debbie's swinging back on her back leg, just a little bit too much a weight transfer there. Pulls the ball down the left side, and she's out of bounds on the left-hand side for drive number 1.
Debbie getting ready for her second drive, hoping to keep it in the grid and keep it long.
And you can see she's talking to herself. She's trying to calm herself down. She's trying to calm those nerves. Egging the ball along, saying, come on, ball, get back into the grid. Another ball down that left-hand side and out of bounds for drive number 2.
And Debbie Peever's third drive also went out of bounds. Allison Stark with her fourth drive this afternoon.
Trying to improve on that 221. What a great swing there by Allison. You see her dad in the background cheering her on as the ball goes down the grid on the right-hand side and goes past that 220 marker and past the 230 and ends up at 243 yards for Allison Stark.
Allison Stark now with her sixth drive, the fifth going out of bounds, trying to beat that 243 yards.
Oh, another great swing, a great drive for Allison. She's clapping her hands, cheering that ball along. Go, ball, go, as it goes down the left-hand side, right on the line, and finishes up at 245 yards, her best drive for this set.
Debbie Peever right now, it's her fourth drive, Debbie's fourth drive. She's got to beat Allison's 245 yards.
And she's got to calm her nerves down here, Ron. She's been really jittery in the tee box. She's got to focus on the task at hand. And this is one ball golf. One ball at a time, and hit that ball as far and as fast and as hard as you can. So let's see if she can do it here. Big swing. She stays stable in her stance, and she's looking at that ball as it goes down the grid. Big rolling ball past the 220 marker, past the 230 marker, past the 240 marker, and ends up at 261 yards for Debbie Peever. What a great drive for Debbie. She's got to be happy with that, and so does her team.
Definitely, definitely. Now Debbie is back with her sixth. Her fifth went out of bounds.
Not as happy as that 261, but again, you see a big hop, big rolling ball down that right side of the grid. It's fast over there, right to the tall grass, and she ends up 241 yards, but not as good as her 261 to take Allison Stark in this head-to-head competition. Going into the instant replay, you can see here Debbie Peever's swing as she goes to the top parallel and all the way through the ball, keeping her feet planted on the ground. What a great drive from Debbie Peever.
And here's what happened this afternoon, the final round. Jason Davies playing for Team Canada 3 long driver this afternoon with 400 yards. And Team Canada number 2 long drive this afternoon, Chris Mason with 379 yards. And checking out our final scores, even though Jason Davies had the longest drive of 400 yards, Team Canada 2 wins by 75 yards. And of course the big hit going out to Jason Davies for 400 yards.
400-yard drive, and you can see his big wide stance here as he sets up behind the ball and powers through it with a big shoulder turn and drives that ball out there to 400 yards. What a great job by Jason Davies in this head-to-head competition.
What an exciting competition here this afternoon. Team Canada 3 going up against Team Canada 2. Rick, right from the start, it was go, go, go.
Yeah, great competition between these two Canadian teams. Team Canada 2 winning out 75 yards, the difference in this competition. Not a whole lot between these two teams, but you know, Jason Davies with a big blast of this competition at 400 yards. What an impressive showing of long drive for Jason Davies in this event. Allison Stark comes up with a 245 in this event. A great showing again from her. You know, can't say enough about the Canadians and the competition, the camaraderie between these two teams in this event. Congratulations to all.
Now, Rick, there's people sitting at home watching this and they're saying, this looks like a lot of fun. How can I possibly get involved? What do they do?
Well, for those watching at home that want to get involved in the sport of long drive, it's real easy, Ron. Log on to www.internationallongdrivechallenge.com and look for the local qualifier nearest to you, and you could represent your country at the next International Long Drive Challenge event.
And that'll do it for us here today. Until next time, for Rick Benoit, I'm Ron Yantho. Remember to hit 'em long and hit 'em straight.